2019 is coming to a close, which also spells the end of an entire decade. Over the 2010s, I have played hundreds on hundreds of games across multiple platforms, but today I'm going to dwindle that list down to my personal top 10 favourites. This comes down to my experiences with the games, so there's no doubt that some of your favourites won't be on the list. There will also be some honourable mentions for games which just missed out on my top 10, or ones that people have loved but I never got round to playing. The games can be any price, genre, age rating and so on, the only qualifying factor being that it was fully released in this decade. Anyway, after a long time of switching games in and out, here are my top 10 games of the 2010s. Personally for me, this is the best Mario game. While I did enjoy Odyssey, it still doesn't come close to Super Mario Galaxy 2. For the time and especially on the Wii, there was nothing like it. The game built on every aspect from the previous release, expanding the universe and gameplay features in unpredictable ways. The graphics were beautiful, the soundtrack was amazing, and it became an instant classic for me the second I began playing it. The creativity put into each level was mind-blowing, and it all matched so well together with the low gravity. I've put this at number 10 though, as I do think a lot of it comes down to nostalgia. My Wii broke a long time ago, so I haven't played this in years, but it may be worth buying a whole new one just to try it out again. I can already hear people complaining. Since The Binding of Isaac released, I have came back to this game time and time again, and every single time I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Isaac has mastered replayability with the sheer amount of items, challenges and synergies that you can make. I'm a huge fan of discovering how to progress through a game, finding new combinations and figuring out what each item does. For example, when you pick up Bumbo, he seems like a terrible item, but after he has collected some coins he is suddenly more powerful than you. Even after playing the game for years, I've only just recently found out that Isaac can turn into a giant walking turd. I mean, how insane is that? A game I have sunk hundreds on hundreds of hours into can still surprise me. No run is ever the same due to RNG either. One run could be a breeze while another one is immensely challenging. This game deserves to be here. If you want to know more about my opinion though, I have made a video on it before. The Last of Us was one of the first storyline based games that truly immersed me right from the beginning to the very end. The acting and story was superb, but the realism really came from the graphics, which only improved when the remaster of the game came out. This post-apocalyptic game set in 2033 was a PlayStation exclusive. I personally know some people who bought a PlayStation just to play this game. Every aspect was perfectly created, from the settings to the crafting to the stealth sequences. While the infected were a threat, this game emphasised how dangerous humans could be in a potential apocalyptic setting. This is one of those games that everyone has seen, but I would also suggest that you play it yourself, as it is one of the best single player experiences out there. To understand this choice, you have to be a fan of the TV show. Even though I probably shouldn't have been watching it, as a kid, this was hands down my favourite show, and I still watch it to this day. You continue your role as the new kid from the previous game, this being the Stick of Truth, but I enjoyed this one so much more as it expanded on everything from the previous game. The fighting was strategic, you could explore more of South Park, and there were a lot more classes to choose from. If I'm being honest though, I couldn't care less about any of that. I just absolutely loved interacting with the characters, going around houses and actually feeling like I was part of the show, which played such a big part in my childhood. I'm sure that some of you who played the game felt the same way. For me, there has been no other game that has captured the essence of a show and transferred it so well into video game form. I really do hope that they end it off with one more game. Do you remember when Telltale made good games? Back in 2012 they released The Walking Dead Season 1, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that it left a mark on the gaming industry. This game allowed you to shape the story and build relationships through your own choices, which led to an entire genre being created, and other gems such as Life is Strange, Until Dawn and The Wolf Among Us. Think back to the impact this game had on you when you first experienced it. Lee is one of the few characters in gaming that most people could connect to, and the entire adventure from start to finish was an insane rollercoaster of emotions. It's hard to put this game into words, as on the surface it seems just like an interactive movie, but if you have played it then you know why it's so much more than that. This was definitely the peak for Telltale games, and I'm glad that after everything that happened we got an ending to Clementine's story. I don't usually enjoy games like Horizon Zero Dawn, but for whatever reason I could not put this game down until I'd completed it. There's just something about being dropped into a beautifully designed world filled with insane and aggressive creatures that I absolutely love. The most compelling part of the whole game has to be the combat though. In action role playing games, you have to make sure that the combat is dynamic and challenging. It is why games such as Dark Souls and Bloodborne are so popular. In Horizon you have to fight in multiple different ways to take down the robotic creatures, depending on their weak points and how they move. You can use a rattler to take down large enemies that are close by, a rope caster to immobilise a dinosaur without them seeing you, or just a bow if you're confident enough. On top of that there are different variants of arrows, many craftables and upgrades that you can unlock. The story is engaging, the world design is brilliant, and you just have to try this game out. It deserves to be in the top half of this list, and I can't wait for the second one to come out. SpiderMan was my favourite game of 2018, and also a big surprise for me, especially since the recent SpiderMan games have been below average to say the least. I wasn't going to get this at first, but after seeing the reviews and how great people were saying it was, I brought it in the hype, and I wasn't disappointed. It is also the only game that I've 100% completed in a long time. They seem to master everything here, from the story to the web swinging to the missions, and Jesus Christ was the combat so satisfying. They also put a ton of work into making New York City feel like people actually lived in it when you weren't there. There is a fast travel feature in this game, but I don't think I used it once, as I enjoyed manoeuvring around the city so much. I can't find it right now, but there is a video out there which shows how much work they put into designing this game. I think it is fair to say that PlayStation has knocked it out the park this decade, with SpiderMan, Last of Us and Horizon all being exclusives. This really is not your ordinary superhero game. Kicking off the top 3 is everyone's favourite psychopath test, GTA 5. I really don't know how Rockstar do it, but time and time again they seem to outdo themselves. GTA 5 is just sheer fun, a game that anyone can get enjoyment out of. Whether it be playing golf in single player or completing heists online, you won't be able to put this game down. For 2013 it was so far ahead of the curve in terms of scale, and even to this day it holds up with a compelling, unpredictable, intelligent but also hilarious storyline. And that's just the single player, because online is a whole other experience. GTA Online was game changing for the franchise. It allowed you to create your own character, mess about with friends and build your own drug empire. It even led to the creation of insanely large YouTube groups such as the Sidemen. Over time they've added more cars, missions, heists, yachts, jets and so much more. I don't even need to describe how entertaining this game is, because I'm sure you've played it before. With online doing so well, I can't see GTA 6 coming out anytime soon, but the new consoles are coming out next year, so you never know what might come. Please Rockstar, I want it now. I got COD from 2010 to 2012 as the runner-up. Yep, I know it's the biggest cop-out ever. Realistically, it's from 2007 to 2012, but I can't include that here. These games were the golden age of Call of Duty though. Iconic maps such as Nuketown, Dome and Hijacked. Iconic weapons such as the SCAR, MSR and MP7. Quickscoping, trick shots, montages, spec ops. It was really not overly complicated like the games nowadays. There was no loot boxes, grinding season passes or weapons locked behind a paywall. The only thing you had to buy was the DLC and also some genuinely good camos in Black Ops 2. I also can't miss out on zombies, which I absolutely loved. I won't be forgetting Kino, Mob of the Dead or Origins anytime soon. Technically speaking, These games may not have been as good as the others on the list, but when I think of some of the great memories I had playing them with my cousins and friends, I know for a fact that it deserves to be here. You all knew it was coming. Right from the start you knew that Minecraft would be at number 1. This game has done the impossible. It has somehow appealed to everyone no matter their age or taste in gaming. No other game deserves this spot other than Minecraft. It has had such a huge impact on the gaming industry that no one can overlook it. The full game released back in 2011, and as of today it is the #1 selling game of all time. It is also available on multiple platforms ranging from PC to console and even to mobile. As a whole, it doesn't seem like an award-winning game. The graphics are not mind-blowing and there's no true end goal, but that's not why people enjoy this game. This game reels people in with its endless blocky worlds and the infinite creativity it offers its players. Just thinking back to when I used to play Minecraft with my friends, building roller coasters in creative mode and finding diamonds in survival. It makes me want to hop right back onto my Xbox 360 and experience it all over again. The community also played a big part in this game's success though, with mods, maps and content on YouTube. Parodies, mod showcases and battle domes ruled gaming YouTube back in 2013, and without all that, who knows what would have happened with the gaming scene. Minecraft is undoubtedly the biggest game ever, and that is why, in my opinion, it is the best game of the 2010s. This decade has been a huge step up for gaming as an industry. If you take a look back at graphics 10 years ago, then you would probably laugh at how bad it is compared to the industry standard today. There will be some games that you thought deserved to be on this list, so be sure to put them in the comments below and I'll do my best to reply to you all. If you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe, but for now, I'm out. I'll see you all next time.